This is what fixes you when you're sick. Good bowl of homemade potato soup. Good afternoon. It's Sunday evening and I feel way better. I actually slept last night, breathed last night, got up today and feel good. Got up, cut my hair, shaved, and gonna go do a video. I told everybody we'd do one of the house down at the bottom of the mountain. We've had breakfast, eat some of my wife's good homemade potato soup. And I got a partner in crime today gonna go with me. I've suckered her into getting out of the house and go down. We actually got a surprise for you today too. I'm going to take you to a part of the property that's not in any of the listing and I've not had on any videos yet. It's an old barn on the property. It's got a lot of cool history and one really neat thing that pertains to my immediate family I'll tell you about when we get down there, but we're gonna head down the road here. I'm gonna introduce you to Kim, my wife. So she's gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna let her drive or not, but we're gonna go down the mountain. We'll go down to the little hidden secret I'm gonna show you here first, and we'll go down to the guest house. So see you in a minute. I apologize for the dirty windshield, but I'm trying to keep the wind from distorting the sound because it is very windy out today. So we're going out through the front of the house past my shop, and here's the part that nobody has seen before. This was the old original road that came up to this field before I cut the driveway in. Still in really good shape. I used to walk up this driveway when I stayed with my grandmother in the summer when we was out of school. And I had a garden up here. Me and her get up about lunch and she'd always want to walk up to the garden at the hottest part of the day for me to sit up there and fight sweat beads and beg her to come home while she hoed and sweated in the garden. But here's the old barn. And this thing is old and it is pretty cool. I'm gonna take you on down in a minute, kind of show you where this road used to go to. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the inside, but I'm gonna tell you out here first, this, you can see the ground's almost level with right there. When I was a kid, this road that comes all the way down the hill here has washed and washed and washed over the years till it's filled that up. This used to be, this board right here used to be about 5 foot up from the road. And you can see, I'm gonna walk around here where you can see underneath. Gosh, some more of it's even fell down since I was here last. But this used to be a drive under. You could pull and go underneath here. And there's, God only knows what all's buried under there. I know there's a couple of old Harley Davidson motorcycles that used to be under there. There's car motors, all kinds of stuff. We got a couple old tree stands in here right now, but this is a cool old barn, and it's about had it. If you paid attention to my videos or the listing of the house, sorry for the wind. A lot of these boards, like this whole side, all the boards are gone. These are what I took down to build the bookcase in the house with. So we've a little here and there we took boards off and used to build stuff with. But anyway, yeah, Kim just made a comment there. My oldest son Gavin, he took boards off of here and built a headboard for their bedroom. It's really cool. That was when they lived in their old house. Their new home now, he's actually took it, put it in his workshop and made a workbench out of it. But we're gonna ride down the road on around the corner here before we get back up here to the barn and tell you a little more about it. I'm gonna show you where the road used to come out. All right, I'm getting the right gear here. We're gonna go forward. All right, we're gonna go around. That, my wife said the road used to go there. It looks like it, but I cut that so water would run and go down off the mountain instead of traveling down the road and wash it out. So we're coming on around. There's a brand new deer street. Wow. Up here's another one. I think my son might want to be hunting up here. Look, that is fresh. There's a licking branch, fresh scrape. So right here you can see the old house and my driveway. So you can't go no further here now. But this used to be the road. This whole drive got cut out. This road went straight right on down, right to the house right there. And there was a big horseshoe right in front of the house where you come on up. Hopefully I've got pictures put in this video of the old house and stuff here in the driveway. I got some cool pictures of it, I'll show you. But you can look up the driveway and you can see the roof of our house. So go back up, the wind's still blowing, I do apologize. Look over across the mountain. This whole side is rock bluff. It is gorgeous in the fall. When all the leaves get gone, it's really cool. But we'll go back up here to the barn, tell you a little bit more about it, then we'll wander right down here to the guest house, tell you a little bit about it. Give us just do what? Well, I'm gonna wander in here. This thing's deteriorated a lot since I was down here last. It ain't been that long, but this whole end has fell down. And I'm sure when we took these boards off the side all the way around, it's caused it to not have any rigidity. So it's probably time to get it rest of the way tore down. But I was gonna show you in here, everything's fell through. So something kind of cool, it's funny. Right down here, I don't know, you can see there's a little bit of old hay and stuff that was down here. Me and the boys got in here digging around, and I had a great uncle, his name was Ike Ridgway. He was part of the family here. That's why all this was called the Ridgway Holler. He was a closet drinker. He'd sneak off. They said he'd hide liquor and drink it. Well, we got down here and in little layers between the hay. It was like, there'd be a layer with 4 or 5 bottles in it, another layer with bottles. We found all these old liquor bottles, old ones. Kentucky bourbon, Kentucky this, all these cool things. Some of them, the labels are still really good on. They're in my bookcase there in the basement of my house. It's pretty funny when we found them because I have no doubt they were Ike's. And he actually lived to be 101 years old. He smoked filterless cigarettes and drank liquor. And the joke was the cigarettes finally killed him. I don't know what that is back there. Looks like something American pickers maybe would want. But what's really cool about this building, our oldest son, Gavin, and I'm hoping I got pictures again to put on here. We've got some. Ooh, I'm getting ready to fall through the floor. So before we took these walls down, this was all solid. There was a wall back here. Gavin screwed this window up, you can see here. He had that old window picture frame thing there, and he had a few different things decorated out in here. And right up on a nail, on a board over here, one of these nails, he had his engagement ring hung on. And he and Alyssa, he had a plan. We had me and Kim and Dylan and my mom and dad and Alyssa's mom and dad and grandparents. We were all down at it was the guest house. We hadn't built up here yet when this happened. But he had us all down there. We hid in the house. Him and Alyssa was out that night. And he told her that I'd asked him to come down here and come up on the mountain to check on something up here in the barn. He'd come up with some kind of tale. And anyway, when he brought her up, we'd come up just a little bit before and lit candles in here. And anyway, this is where he brought her inside, and he got his Bible out, read a couple Bible verses, and proposed to her right here in this barn, and had her ring hanging on a nail on the board in here. It was pretty unique. Yeah, that's right. So pretty neat. So a little sad, especially for them. I was going to tear it down here a couple of years ago, and I could tell Gavin and Alyssa didn't like that idea at all. But it's about to come down on its own. So, but anyway, somebody buys a property here and they got a little excavator and they want to come down here and dig underneath. It's no telling what kind of gold mine they're able to find here. So we're going to go back around, go down to the guest house, show you a little bit down there. And before I do, I want to walk around underneath. I don't remember what all's underneath here. Some old barrels underneath there. Oh yeah, I thought there was some. These are the old windows. I know them things, people use them for a lot of things for art, but all these windows come out of the old house down where we're getting ready to go. My granddaddy never threw anything away. As you can see, there's barrels in here. Over there's a fender off of something. I think there's a windshield in here somewhere I seen, like out of an old 53 Chevy truck. Let's see. I remember. I don't see it, but I know I'm not imagining that. It's in here somewhere. But probably don't need to be in there. This thing looks pretty dangerous. There's some old doors. Lawnmower motor. All right, we're gonna head down to the house. I came over to Gavin's house before I edited the video, and back here is the headboard. It ain't a headboard, the Wasek workbench we actually made a thing to put on the wall. It's pretty cool. But that was their headboard on their bed before. And right behind this, I'm gonna put some pictures of when he proposed the list on there. You'll see. Heading down the mountain. It's actually turned out to be a gorgeous day today after being 20 degrees Monday and all week being nasty. It feels pretty good today. It's about 60 degrees right now, so it feels really nice. Anybody out here watches deer hunters, I videoed 4 does this morning in the field, and I kept noticing the deer in the edge of the woods. And finally got to where I could see it was a little spike, so they're starting to chase. So I watched him, and I finally lost him, and I seen another deer way out behind my red building. Thought it was him. It ended up being a big buck, just sneaking, and he never actually come out and showed his face. He just kind of stayed back behind the barn and finally went over the hill. He looked like a really good 8. And finally, the little spot come out and chased the does around a little bit, and they run out of the field. Then a little 4-pointer come out and run through the field. So I think they're getting ready to start chasing here pretty good in the next few days. But all right, we're to the bottom of the driveway, and I'm gonna tell you here real quick before we go up to the house. I'll let Kim tell a little bit about this in a minute. Right on down the road here, Gate City Highway goes on down that way. See the road. About another quarter mile maybe. When Kim and I first got married, we bought a little tract of land and a double wide from a little lady that was a friend of my grandmother's right down there. And we lived there the first couple years we were married. And my grandmother that lived here at the little house where we're going, at that time she didn't work anymore. She stayed at home. Kim was a nurse and worked on 3 West at the Bristol Hospital on the cardiac floor. So she worked 12-hour shifts, so she was off a lot. And she come down here and would hang with my grandmother every day that she was off, and spent a lot of time. And my grandmother was the most amazing cook in the world. She was an unbelievable cook. Everybody around here knew how she could cook. So I'm very thankful that Kim spent probably 2 years down here with her, about 2 or 3 days a week, and that's where she learned how to cook. And my wife is a very good cook. Did you hear me? I said that publicly. She is a good cook. So here's our little guest house, and I may throw some pictures up here to show you what this used to look like. This was a house my great-granddaddy built in, I think, 1942 is what the deed says when this was built. But I've got some family that's got the real old pictures of it. It was a log house. They ended up painting it black and white. I'll try to stick some pictures up here so you can see. But this porch was built on when I was about 2 years old. Used to have an old wooden porch, and my mom says she's got pictures somewhere of the house where you could see underneath it. It was just sitting on rock. But no bathroom. This on the back right here's a bathroom. My granddaddy built this bathroom on. The year after my mom got married, she said he waited till she got married and then added a bathroom because they had an outhouse the whole time she was here. It was her sister Connie, Danny, and Jerry. So there was 4 of them. My granny and my granddaddy and my great-grandmother and great-granddaddy at one time all lived in this house. It's about a 24 by 24 square, and they had no bathrooms and no running water then. So But since then, of course, it's got a bathroom, it's got running water, heat pump, and we wrapped the whole house. Took the logs are still there. We just covered them. The board bees had started working on them, and they just needed some. We had to replace some, so we just went ahead and decided to wrap the whole house. And this deck was never here. You used to walk around the house, a little pathway. I used to freak out when I was a little kid. We'd come home at night with my grandmother, and you can see this is a drop off. It goes down to the road and the creek. But it used to scare me to death to walk around this house, that little narrow path at night when you couldn't see. But pretty cool place. We'll come on around outside. We'll go in a minute. I'll show you a little bit more around outside. And all this looks, I don't know what my grandmother and my granddaddy would think if they seen it now, but it looks a lot different than it did when they were here. This little building is one that I didn't tear down. This is, my grandmother called it the dairy, and that's what it is. It's just an old dairy, but it's got the well inside it. There's a well here for the house. The water is awesome. Never went dry before. I mean, cold, really good water. I do have water line run down here from the county water, so if someone did want to change it, all they gotta do is bring it over into the house, tie it in, and it'll be good to go. But years ago, there was an old smokehouse out here that's gone. This old building here was a metal building my granddaddy had put up and had more junk in it than you should ever be able to fit in something that size. But we took all the metal off of it, tore the whole top down and reframed it and made us a little picnic shelter, which is pretty cool. We got, you see there's swing and stuff underneath here, and we got lights. It's got a little sink. I run the water out here to it. So pretty cool. Neat little place to come out and hang out at night. So, all right, we'll wander around here and we'll go inside. Well, we come around to go inside. We screened the porch in, which is really nice. Gavin and Alyssa, when they lived here, they stayed here for, how long were they here before they built? 3 years? 3 or 4 years. They'd sit out here on the porch quite a bit, but it looks like the ladybugs has infested us again. Kim's open the door and go inside. There is a little bit of junk still in here, but this room here is the living room when you first walk in. When I was probably 10 years old before I was ever come in this room. This house was a little bit different layout than it is now. We changed the whole layout. This room used to stay the door locked, nobody come in because they didn't heat nothing. My granddaddy and grandmother never had a heat pump at all. All they had was some wall plug-in heaters. There used to be wood stoves here, but I don't remember them. But we'll come through the house here. This is a little bedroom here. You can see me in the camera, the mirror. Gavin and Alyssa had a workout room in here, which they've still got one of their pieces here. So they had a mirror in it. And we built all the doors. Me and the boys worked on this thing forever on weekends. Before we realized we was gonna build down here, this was gonna be our hunting cabin. And it didn't have, the walls weren't painted white, and some of the decoration wasn't quite as nice. Alyssa did all that when they moved in. She made it look way more homey than what it was, because it did look like an old hunting cabin when we got done. Here's the kitchen area. We built this cool little bar to go down the side. Laundry room inside here. Nice size laundry room. So this was not a laundry room when I was a kid. This was the kitchen. When my mom was a little girl, this was a porch. They had an old wood burning stove that sit in here that they used, but my granddaddy turned this into the kitchen. But this, there was no laundry room. My grandmother never had a washing machine in the house. She had one of the old Ringer washers. She used to set it right outside here, and there used to be, you can see the hole in the block wall right there where the water spigot was my granddaddy had. She'd hook it up right there and wash clothes outside and hung them on the clothesline. But the dining room table used to sit right here. This wall wasn't here. We framed it in. So yeah, she lived here her whole life and never had an indoor washer. Never owned a dryer at all. Even when she passed, she still never had a dryer. So we turned this into a little dining room. And Kim's going on upstairs. I'll show you here the bathroom. This is the bathroom my granddaddy had it on, and it is all concrete and block. The floor's on a concrete slab, and these little tile, I don't know how he laid all it. It's crazy. But there's the bathroom. This door was not here. I cut this out. It's pretty narrow, but that way you could go into we made this into a little bedroom back around to the living. We did cut this out, and I took this whole wall out. There was a wall here, and right here was a little door you open to go upstairs, and it's really narrow. So my grandmother and granddaddy in the wintertime, all they heated was this room here and the kitchen. Everything else was closed off. And the bedrooms are all upstairs, and I used to love it to stay down here in the winter because you'd go upstairs and it would be so cold up there. You get in the bed, my grandmother would have about 10, 12 inches of blankets on top of you. You'd climb in them blankets. I just thought that always felt so good. And I would sleep so good like that. But we're gonna go upstairs. And also, my grandmother and granddaddy was short. My mom's short. Her brother and sister was short. She had one brother that was tall. But the ceilings, you can see, they're up here. Before we remodeled the house, the ceiling was about right there. I had to stand like this in order to walk up here. So we raised the ceilings up and done all metal ceilings up here, redone the walls. Let me flip the camera back around. We turn this into a really cool place. Gavin and Alyssa, that's their bed still up here. So that's where they slept, but you can see it goes on around. Little neat little area, just like it's a cool loft, it really is. We built these two closets back here too. I made Kim a window seat. We lived here while we was building our house, so when we remodeled, good Lord at the ladybugs. I made Kim likes to read, and she had a little nook when I was doing this, so I put a plug in here and a window seat to sit in, so you can look out and see the creek. Pretty neat. And like I said, a couple closets. I'm gonna fall and break my neck. But pretty narrow set of stairs. Funny thing, these windows, I showed you in the barn, the old windows that come out of the house. My granddaddy replaced all these really just before he got sick with replacement windows, and they were a lot smaller. Used to, every piece of furniture that come in and out of this house, he'd take the window out up here and come in off of the bathroom porch, off of the bank. I built a retaining wall out there, so it's a little further from the house now. The bank used to be right up against the bathroom. And so when we got ready to start remodeling, there was an old bed up here. There was a bunch of old stuff. I had to take a Sawzall and cut the box springs up with the Sawzall and throw them out the window. You could not get them down the stairs and around the corner. It was impossible. The bed up here, Gavin and Alyssa bought, you can see they got the framing for it. But you have to buy a set of 2 boxes. They make a box spring instead of a queen. You can get it where it's split and there's 2 pieces, and it comes up fine. Then of course you can get the mattress up, but little tight fit coming up and down through here. So all right, we're gonna go back downstairs and we'll try to see if I can think anything else you might want to know about. We'll turn this into a really cool place. Gavin and Alyssa, that's their bed still up here. So that's where they slept, but you can see it goes on around. Little neat little area, just like it's a cool loft, it really is. We built these 2 closets back here too. I made Kim a window seat. We lived here while we was building our house, so when we remodeled, good Lord at the ladybugs. I made Kim likes to read, and she had a little nook when I was doing this, so I put a plug in here and a window seat to sit in, so you can look out and see the creek. Pretty neat. And like I said, a couple closets. I'm gonna fall and break my neck. But pretty narrow set of stairs. Funny thing, these windows, I showed you in the barn, the old windows that come out of the house. My granddaddy replaced all these really just before he got sick with replacement windows, and they were a lot smaller. Used to, every piece of furniture that come in and out of this house, he'd take the window out up here and come in off of the bathroom porch, off of the bank. I built a retaining wall out there, so it's a little further from the house now. The bank used to be right up against the bathroom. And so when we got ready to start remodeling, there was an old bed up here. There was a bunch of old stuff. I had to take a Sawzall and cut the box springs up with the Sawzall and throw them out the window. You could not get them down the stairs and around the corner. It was impossible. The bed up here, Gavin and Alyssa bought, you can see they got the framing for it. But you have to buy a set of two boxes. You know, they make a box spring instead of a queen. You can get it where it's split and there's two pieces, and it comes up fine. And of course you can get the mattress up, but little tight fit coming up and down through here. So, all right, we're gonna go back downstairs and we'll try to see if I can think anything else you might want to know about. In here in the kitchen, all these tile countertops my granddaddy laid, they're just like they were. We didn't change them at all. All these cabinets he built, these are all hand-built cabinets, and I had never done cabinet work before, and they turned out pretty cool. But we took these things, and me and the boys back, God, it's been 10, 12 years ago now, we took them off. We tried to sand on them and distress them and make them look kind of antique. That turned out pretty cool. But so all the cabinets are original. The flooring, this is all vinyl flooring in here. The house is insulated well. Like I said, it does have a new heat pump now, so a lot of that stuff's been done. It's been completely replumbed. We completely rewired the whole house. I don't know how my grandmother and granddaddy didn't burn up in a house fire. When we started tearing this thing apart, there was about 4 or 5 places that actually had where the wiring had been on fire before and it put itself out. It was kind of crazy. It had that old paper wrapped wiring and it was just awful. The breaker box was out on the front porch where water could run in it, so I don't understand that. But anyway, all that's been redone, and we did add closets. There was no closets in the house. So every bedroom, that's what this is here, is a good sized closet. We sit behind the door. There's one there. The bedroom in here, you've seen the 2 upstairs. This one here has a nice sized closet here. And then of course there's one in the bathroom, but before my grandmother didn't have any closets in the house. It's kind of crazy, but pretty cool house, and it has served a purpose. It's raised a lot of people. Been raised in this place, and then me and Kim lived here for about 4 years while we was building. Gavin and Alyssa moved in, lived here about 3 years while they were building, so it's ready for the next family. Just gonna kind of show you the view from out here. It's pretty down here, and the wind is blowing a little bit. Usually the wind don't even blow down here. A little trivia for everybody. I wish it was a different time of year because you can't see this bush right here. Anybody ever heard of a bubby bush? You'll have to comment if you have. They get these little red purpley blooms on them. They smell so good when they bloom. They smell just like a fresh cut cantaloupe. But yeah, like Fruit Loops almost, Kim said. But that thing's been there since I was a little bitty kid, and it is awesome. That thing smells so good when it's blooming. But I just kind of show you around a little bit, the view. When I was a kid, me and my grandmother would sit on the porch here, and you can see the mountain straight across right there. Every time it rains here in the summer, after it quits raining, the steam starts coming up, and it'd be over there, and she always told me that that was the Indians over there sending up smoke signals, and I believed her till I was about 12 years old. But all right, I think we're done here. This may be my last video of stuff here at the house, unless someone else thinks of something they'd want to see or hear about. Some people have commented they'd like to see some of my other projects and stuff. My wife says that's dangerous, people talking about that. I've already got enough projects, but just have to stay tuned. We may keep posting some videos of stuff. And oh, right here, before I forget, right here's where the PEX comes up at. So there's where the water comes from. It's underground all the way up to the main water line going to the house. So all you'd have to do is dig from here to the house, and you would have county water. So, all right, hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend. We'll see you soon.